Gavin McInnes was taken. He had the #1 show on CRTV. Glenn Beck bought into it. The Blaze had collapsed. They tried to sell it to us for $25 million a few years ago. I said, I don't have that money, A, and B, you're a tainted brand. And but Glenn Beck, bet against Trump, all the rest of it. He's a globalist. And so I was talking to Gavin yesterday, and he didn't want to get into inside baseball about why he was fired, but I already knew from people inside CRTV separately that it was Glenn Beck. And that they'd had the left, who they were working with, produce a video of Gavin McInnes, edited out of context. And then they sent that there to get him off. And he said, well, I've still got YouTube. And I said, Gavin, this is all coordinated. You'll be off YouTube within a week. Well, he was just banned off YouTube.
The MK Ultra program was a tip of the iceberg, and what you've uncovered in the most recent documents, what I've been saying for years, is the electromagnetic effect of altering consciousness. This is the key. And then the biggest thing that I think was discovered in this was the latent potentials of human beings, the psychic potentials of human beings.
And that's what scared the establishment.
That's what freaked them out.
Because at first they put the LSD out to try to find the latents, and it was so powerful they got scared.
Right, because it turned out that everybody has these capacities, it's just a matter of remembering them. And this is sort of, you get back down to it again, what are we as human beings fundamentally? These are our natural attributes that are subjected to fear and anxiety, which suppresses them, and then the brain can't reach these
things. That's why they're hitting us with chemicals and biologicals and cultural poison, is to suppress that.
Absolutely correct.
All right. This just broke during the break. I looked at the articles. I was already expecting this because I already know about this attack plan. They've used something similar on Limbaugh, but this is even worse. And I've explained to listeners, they're going after our sponsors. So we self-fund with our own products. Then they go after our credit card processing.
Right.
They go after every platform. Gavin McInnes was taken. He had the #1 show on CRTV. Glenn Beck bought into it. The Blaze had collapsed. They tried to sell it to us for $25 million a few years ago. I said, I don't have that money, A, and B, you're a tainted brand. And but Glenn Beck, bet against Trump, all the rest of it. He's a globalist. And so I was talking to Gavin yesterday, and he didn't want to get into inside baseball about why he was fired, but I already knew from people inside CRTV separately that it was Glenn Beck. And that they'd had the left, who they were working with, produce a video of Gavin McInnes, edited out of context. And then they sent that there to get him off. And he said, well, I've still got YouTube. And I said, Gavin, this is all coordinated. You'll be off YouTube within a week. Well, he was just banned off YouTube. So this is coordinated. When you realize the fake-controlled right wing is working with the Democrats, it's all deep state, then you understand it's the neocons, it's the controlled right, and the left. Not liberals. Thomas Jefferson was a classical liberal. That's why when I talked to Vice Magazine right after Trump got elected, I said bigger waves of populism are coming all over the world. Globalism is going to fall. I'm going to air that 5-minute report at the end of this hour. That's why I told you this was coming. So this is about survival for us and the whole country. They wanted Matt Drudge taken off the internet, saying he violated Federal Elections Commission laws. And until about 2 years ago, they had 50-50 votes and almost did it. Then they came out and said, what the fairness doctrine when Alex Jones and Rush Limbaugh taken off, and they had 10 Democrat senators give speeches for that. So people say, oh, that'll never happen. They gave speeches last year and this year saying, take me off the internet. It happened.
Yep.
Okay, and you've had family, Congress, senators. Yep. You explain how much power they have. So now radio host Alex Jones promotes dangerous fiction. Stations should say so. So this is a Sacramento Bee. They then say things I never said or out of context. They then say, stations should say at the beginning of him airing, this isn't real, this is fake. But then the same group, once they think they bully the station to do that, they're going to say the station admits they're airing fake news. The stations are being tricked. Then they say Jones occupies a central position in the realm of conspiracies and has rightly been removed from major media platforms for harassment, glorification of violence, and child endangerment. Now, what did they remove me off YouTube? The final video. I showed an ABC News clip in Missouri of an 11-year-old, big 11-year-old, going around hitting adults and hitting this guy 4 times. The guy pushes him down.
I remember that.
Forbes and others ran. I did that because the guy had a beard like me at the time and stuff. So now they don't show a link to me child endangerment. It's just Alex Jones is child endangerment. glorification of violence, because they said that was that same thing. But radio stations around the country still broadcast the dangerous falsehoods he promotes on the Alex Jones Show, which are contributing to real-world terror. No link to my real-world terror. So obviously I'm going to have to end up. I've been looking for people that need to be sued for defamation. They're lying to get me off air. Malice of forethought, intent to do harm.
Right. I'm
busy with stuff. I don't have time to call up all day and say, you need to correct this. But I need to personally sue Wilson, so that the next time somebody gets their ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center talking point, she knows she gets sued. And I've been suing some people now. So Sue Wilson, I'm calling about you today. Because you say I'm endangering children. You say I'm glorifying violence. Where's the damn link? And then they go on. That's what the corporate media is now. They go on to say that Jones admits he's a performance artist. No. My ex-wife in a custody battle starting 2 years ago. My children are now with me 80% of the time. By the way, the media lies and says they're not. Says I lost that. They are saying, because they wanted to introduce stuff where I was dressed up in Joker paint saying, drink your fluoride, kids. It makes you see pretty colors. Then I showed real articles about it giving you cancer. I don't do that a lot anymore. I don't do a lot of fun stuff anymore because they always take it out of context. But my lawyer said, no, he was playing a part to illustrate something. Jack Nicholson, when he plays the Joker, doesn't believe it either. They went, oh, my God, Alex Jones says he's all fake. No, when I do a joke to illustrate atrazine sterilizing frogs, and I dress up like a frog, that's to make it go viral so it gets out. And they know that. That's why they don't show any of the things they claim.
Right.
They just say it. So they go on to say, I must be taken off the air. And they cite all this stuff. So there you go. YouTube bans Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes. That was a hoax. The FBI even called him extreme, but who cares if they call you extreme and be taken off the air? But now taken off the air. U.S. radio stations airing Alex Jones. Truth, I mean, so I wanted to get you on to talk about mind control and all the rest of it. Here we are showing real documents.
Right.
But they say we're perpetuating hoaxes. No, that's not what's happening. The hoaxes are what we see from the mainstream corporate news. They're the ones constantly caught lying.
That's exactly it. And you know, when you look at what people use the phrase conspiracy theory, that came out of these think tanks, government think tanks. How do you discredit someone really rapidly?
1964, people were questioning JFK. Type it in. CIA developed term.
That's it.
A conspiracy theorist to counter JFK researchers.
That's exactly it. And so when you look at this, and the same is true with many aspects of these issues. When you go back historically and you start to look at the historic record, it is whistleblowers that change history. It is whistleblowers that bring out the truth. And when they come forward the first time, they're slapped down almost inevitably.
Whistleblowers said we're injecting black people with syphilis. Took them 20 years to get it listened to, but finally it was true.
That's right. And meanwhile, several people died. They continued these programs. You know, that no one ever gave these programs up. In fact, it was 2009 that the Navy adapted their new protocol for mind control experiments. It's right in their regulations. They actually use the words mind control, requires a Deputy Secretary of the Navy to approve that level. But, you know, whether you're using what they say convicts or others for these experiments, they need to be approved. So the fact is they're still doing them. When you look at the contracts let by DARPA, and as John said in the last segment, they don't even hide this stuff anymore. The fact of the matter is...
And there we are on TV. We're also on TV around the country. There we are showing it.
Right. And, you know, here it is, the protocol, you know, and so as you go through it, you'll see the sections that deal with mind control. And you know,
what about U.S. Code Title 50, Chapter 32, subsection 1528, paragraph B? I mean, that says right there, as long as it's for law enforcement or other than military purposes, they can even do lethal testing on us.
Oh, yeah. In fact, there was an agreement made, and this is going back to the 80s. We track this, you know, from the 80s where they began to cooperate, Department of Justice and Department of Defense, to find those technologies that could be transferred from defense to civil authorities for domestic policing. And so you're taking military, the highest types of military technologies, and we've watched the militarization of police, of local police.
LRADs, microwave guns.
All of it. You know, and you look at the hardware to stop vehicles, you know, using EMPs. You look at the stuff that's gradually transmitting out of DOD into Department of Justice and then migrating into local law enforcement. And really, it's the federalization of local law enforcement when you start to think about it, because they always have a hook. You want the grant, you got to
I forget what general it was like 10 years ago. Obama was doing illegal stuff, violating the...
It was WIN. It was in the Air Force, and he said we need to test on Americans first before we test on our average.
That's right. He said to get around the Geneva Convention, he goes, it's okay, just test it here first, then it gets around it.
Right, because you can always do what you want to on your own sovereign territory.
Introducing the final and biggest sale of 2018, InfoWars is proud to introduce the 12 Days of Christmas, and it's bigger than any previous sale before, as this sale just escalates as we attempt to clear out all of our amazing inventory to escape the dreaded inventory tax at the end of the year. So get great products and help fund the InfoWar right now with the 12 Days of Christmas that is special amongst a group of incredible sales. Up to 75% off on top sellers, including free shipping, double Patriot points, and unprecedented daily specials. Santa Claus isn't real, but the New World Order and the globalists trying to destroy our nation's sovereignty and trying to shut down the free press is. And that's why when you get great products at InfoWarsStore.com, you don't just give yourself the gift of high-quality supplements or storable foods or incredible water filtration. No, you give yourself the gift of funding the First Amendment in a desperate attempt to save this country. Even though InfoWars has delivered in the fight against tyranny like no other, we're not just asking for your support. We're asking you to have a 360 win, because this is the biggest sale of the year. We're extending store-wide free shipping, up to 75% off of best-selling items, double Patriot points, and for the 12 days of Christmas leading up to Christmas, every day we have one particular special that is up to 75% off. Now more than ever, InfoWars needs your support to continue to promote the spirit of liberty and Americana that truly is the Christmas spirit. When you shop at InfoWarsStore.com, you don't just get incredible sales during the 12 days of Christmas. You fund the very tip of the spear in the fight against the globalists. Today's 24-hour only special at InfoWarsStore.com is our ultimate turmeric formula, Bodies, is now 60% off at InfoWarsStore.com. 2018 has been an incredible year. And as we prepare to close it out, I want to thank you all again for making the entire InfoWar possible. Again, you are the resistance.